All right, so we're back at the Scout 101 build. So we've already taken the gas tank off of the Scout 101 and exposed the original air box that we're going to be taking off of this bike, and we're going to be putting in the S&S Stealth air cleaner. You can see it here. That's what we'll be replacing it. On to the next step. All right, so next we're going to be removing the air box out of the Scout. So in order to do that, you're going to remove these 4 bolts here, and then you're going to be able to pull the air filter out of it. You can set that off to the side. Once you have that out, then you're going to be able to grab a hold of the air box here that we're going to be using to lift out. Before you do that, though, we got to remove the right-hand intake cover, which just pops right off. Or also on the left-hand side of the bike, you have the other intake cover that has one screw hole, one screw bolt that you're going to remove in order to pull that one off. Then once you do that, you come back over here on the right-hand side of the bike, and there are 2 hoses right here that are hooked into a T. You're going to just pop those off of the T, and once you have them off the T, you're going to take it's going to take some force, some pressure, but you're going to yank up on the back of the air box, and you're going to pop it up off of the throttle body. Once you get it up off the throttle body, then you can just angle the whole thing up and pull it out. You can see that's the T that I was talking about, where those 2 air hoses were hooked up to that you're popping off. And the throttle body, it literally just sits down over top of it. That's why I said you're yanking up on it to pull it up off of it. All right, so one thing to note is the radiator cap here, once we take the air box out, it's just kind of sitting here loose now, because the radiator cap was originally through this hole right here, was screwed into the side of the air box. So now with the S&S intake kit, they provide this bracket. So this bracket, I'm going to try to show it here if we can. There is a screw hole here that was originally holding on the side intake cover. So what's going to happen is we're going to take that and we're going to set that just to the outside of the frame, and then on the inside of the frame here there is this little cap. We're going to pull this cap off, set it aside for a second, and then like I said, we'll put that back there on the outside of the frame, and on the top side here it'll just slide over top of where that cap was. We'll take the cap and we'll put that cap back on. That'll hold the bracket on until we can get the 2 bolts here and here that'll support the radiator cap bracket. So all we'll do is we'll take the 2 bolts that are supplied with the kit, put them through those 2 holes, and that'll now support that. Later, once we're putting everything back together, we'll also put the bolt that was holding on the side cover for the intake cover. That'll hold that last one on the outside there. All right, so you can see now the bracket has been installed. The hardware that comes with it, it's a number 10 nut on the back side and a 5 hex on the other side to tighten that up. You can see once that's on there, later we will put on that last bolt. Once we put the intake cover back on, that'll go here, but now it's supporting the radiator cap. So now we're ready to put the filter in. All right, so now before we put the filter on, we do have to change the hose out. So the kit, the S&S kit, comes with a piece of hose. We do need to cut it to length, so you can see I cut about that much off in order to get it to fit. This is the T that comes with the kit. I reused the front air hose just as it was. I did not cut it. Put the hose or the T into it, and then I cut to length the new piece of hose that came with the S&S kit. Again, that's what I cut off of it. The original hose, as you can see, that came on the bike looked like this. That we're taking out. Once we have that, then all we're going to do is we're going to grab our air filter, and the hole that's right here, that's where the other end of that T that we just put in line down here is going to go on. So all we're going to do is then take and put the filter on top of the throttle body, and then we're going to push this down onto that, and make sure from underneath here that we're going to take that T and we're going to push that T up inside of the air filter. All right, now the air filter is installed all the way. You need to make sure that once you get the air filter on and you connect the T, push the T up inside of the filter, you're going to want to come back and you're going to tighten this down so it holds the air filter to the throttle body. You can also see we went ahead and now inside here we've put that left hand side cover on, so that last screw is now holding the bracket, the last hole on the radiator cap bracket. So now that's done, you can see what that looks like there. So now it's just a matter of buttoning everything back up, putting the tank back on, and should be good to go. All right, as you can see, everything's back together, tank's back on, seats back on, air filter's all buttoned up, everything's done. When you get finished, the only things you should have left over, if you did it right, would be the hose that you cut, the old hose piece that you took off. These four screws here, these are the screws that hold the old original air filter cover on the old airbox, and then this was the screw that was the one that held the radiator cap in place to the airbox. But that's all you should have left when you're done, if everything went right. So next up, we'll take this, we'll get it off the lift here, we'll get it up on the dyno again, and we'll do another run that'll show what the numbers are that the intake is making. Once we do that one, we'll move on and we'll put the new torqued 2-in-1 exhaust on it, and we'll do the same thing. We'll get numbers for it as well. So tune in, more to come.